Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 video game adaptation Borderlands. The film is co-written and directed by Eli Roth and it stars Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Edgar Ramirez, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana Greenblatt, we've got Jack Black, and so on and so forth. Right, okay, this is, as I've said, the adaptation of the popular video game Borderlands. Cate Blanchett plays Lilith. She is a bounty hunter and she is hired by Edgar Ramirez's character Atlas to collect his daughter, as his daughter, he believes, is the key to opening the most valuable vault on Pandora. And Pandora is a planet that's full of vaults, but also filled with the worst scum of the universe. Everybody trying to outdo each other and find special vaults. Along the way, she kind of teams up with a ragtag group of mercenaries in order to whatever. Right. Okay, what are my thoughts on Borderlands? Right, okay. I think it's fair to say that this film is getting a bit of a battering. Hands up who's surprised. None of us. This film, I think, was preordained to be hated by everyone. It's one of those films that I think its fate was sealed probably the second it was announced. I don't think it was ever going to succeed. I don't care if you put James Cameron in charge of the bloody thing. And I'm not here to tell you that this film is good because, for the most part, I don't think it is. If Borderlands didn't exist as a video game and it wasn't already a beloved franchise by lots of gamers all over the world, and this film kind of came out 10 years ago, it might have had a chance to kind of, catch on with an audience, potentially, with a few changes. But it's 10 years too late. This film tries way too hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy with the hit music and, we're down with the kids vibe. Desperately trying to be cool. And I think it just completely forgets its roots. Now, I'm not a Borderlands mega fan. I've played Borderlands games. I'm not a big lover of the Borderlands games. I've not even played Borderlands 3. I've played the first two, second one mostly, but I've not even completed a Borderlands game. So I'm not like a super fan when it comes to Borderlands or anything. So I don't come into this film with a huge amount of baggage. And I get that people coming into this movie, who are super fans of the games, are probably going to be distraught by this film. And I get it. But I'm kind of looking at this film from a critique standpoint and as a film, if you like, rather than, something that's based on a game. Yes, I know you have to take all that into consideration, but as a film, this kind of fails for the most part. There are some redeeming features about it. I enjoyed Claptrap and Jack Black voiced Claptrap. I thought the effects, for the most part, were of a decent standard. I thought the action at times was decent enough. It's nice and colourful, the film. And it's fairly fast-paced and stuff, I suppose. But beyond that, there's not a great deal to recommend here. I mean, there's just no soul to this film at all. Doesn't have any soul, and it's just not funny. And anybody that knows anything about the Borderlands games knows that those games have got a sick sense of humour, really, and that is not present in this film at all. The humour they try and put in this film feels, I don't know, it just wasn't funny. I don't remember laughing at anything in this film, and I genuinely do not understand why you would cast Kevin Hart, one of the funniest men alive, and he is funny, and I like Kevin Hart when he's funny in his films. But even when he's doing a serious film, he can act. I don't have a problem with him doing that. But you've cast him in Borderlands. in the dullest character in the film. He has nothing interesting to say. He's not funny. You don't buy him as an action star in the action scenes. Not really. I don't understand. And that brings me to my next point, in a sense of the film I think is horrifically miscast. It doesn't feel like anybody suits their roles, and it doesn't feel like anybody in this film has a clue about what it's based on. Are you telling me Jamie Lee Curtis sits down and plays Borderlands? I'm not saying she has to have done to play these parts, but I suspect none of them really have got the vibe or the feel or the knowledge of what I think the film is based on. Let's be honest, I think the majority of the people in this film are there for the paycheck, I am guessing. And it comes across on screen. There's no passion, there's no energy. There's no spark, there's no chemistry. And, on top of that, you've got a deeply uninteresting villain as Atlas, and there's far better villains in Borderlands, like Handsome Jack and others. The villain is just so unmemorable. I think it's a really generic story. Essentially, I think they do a really poor job of kind of explaining what Borderlands is, in regards to the planet Pandora and what people do on there, essentially the treasure hunters. And I just felt like they didn't do a very good job of kind of explaining that. The fact that, even to exist on that planet is a challenge, you know what I mean? And it just didn't do it for me. So there's a lot here I can't recommend. Ultimately, I do think there is a little bit of entertainment value with this film. As I said, it's very colourful, it's fast-paced, the action's decent, the effects decent, but there is, like I said, there's no chemistry, there's no humour, it's terribly miscast, and I just think they have absolutely missed the mark with this one in regards to kind of getting the feel of the Borderlands games and putting it on screen. I think Eli Roth here has massively misjudged this and definitely missed the mark, and this is going to go down as one of those video game adaptations that absolutely didn't work. But if you don't know anything about Borderlands at all, and you go into this film completely blind, yes, you'll see the weaknesses of this film, but you'll also probably find some moments of entertainment in it as well, because it's not 0% on Rotten Tomatoes bad. It's not like 1 out of 10 bad that you're going to see all these people putting reviews up about. It's not that kind of bad. I mean, God almighty, there are so many terrible films out there. This doesn't drop into that bracket. It's a missed opportunity, essentially. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you found it useful. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.